Here. It's me, Mario. Luigi number one. Luigi number one. Oh. Thank you very much for the water. Hey, Barotande. Yahoo. What about Luigi? Nobody says hello to me. Hey, baby Luigi. And baby Mario. Let's go. Yahoo! Hi. How are you? I feel like I'm so far away from you. Is there a handheld that I could have so I could go and sit down and say hello or something? Yeah. Say hello up front? There's a handheld up there?
If you want, I can bring a chair over here.
Yeah. Then you can hear me. No, yeah, it didn't work.
There you go, much better.
There we go. Hello.
There you go, right here.
I feel like I don't really
Up
need
close
to have
and
a
personal.
microphone. You're so close. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for welcoming me here. I've had such a great time. McAllen, Texas, #1. And you guys are so nice and so hospitable, and I had the most wonderful Mexican food last night, and wonderful meals, wonderful food. It's just such a joy. And I always like to start by saying thank you so much, because your joy, your enthusiasm, your sense of fun for what we do is what gives us the wonderful opportunity to come out and meet you, to come out and see you and hang out with you, and too, what we do as actors and performers is we have fun, and my view is the more fun that I have, the better I perform, the better my work is. And coming to a place like this, I'm having fun. I go into the studio, I have great fun, I work with wonderful people, and then I get the opportunity to meet you, and you say such nice things to me, and that's such an honor and a joy, because it really is, it's a fulfilling moment. Most people, you live your whole life, you never once hear, oh gosh, you're just a great electrician, thanks to you. That night light, every night when we needed to pee, it was fantastic, and I had toast every morning thanks to you and your electrical plug. You don't get to hear that, but we do, so thank you for that appreciation. Thank you for those moments. It allows my work to be a dream come true. And it's really what I wish for every one of you, every single one of you, in every single way, to do what you love to do in life, to discover what you love to do in life, discover your joy and your passion, your dreams and your desire. As somebody said to me, a wonderful crone said to me once, follow your heart. I don't know what that means yet, but I'm still trying to do that. I'm trying to listen to my heart's desires. And by living your dreams, by living your joy and your happiness, and that which makes you free and gives you the potential to live in your dream, to develop your dream, that's when you can bring happiness to people and bring, it comes back to you the same way. And that's what I wish for everybody is that level of happiness, and to hear the way I get to hear how what you do is appreciated. So that's my dream for you. Be happy. Life is a gift. Life is short, and I'm tall, but life is short, and you want to enjoy every single minute of you can. And of course, the great thing about humanity is we all share the common experience. We all share the joy. We all share the pain, the suffering, but we all mask it. We all just, you look at people, you see people, and you're busy going your way, they're going busy going that way, and sometimes you forget the level to which we're all part of the same humanity, and because of that, we we tend to get into our own scope, and we tend to forget that if we're not finding freedom, if we're not protecting the freedom we have, we lose that freedom, so participate not only in your own personal growth, but in your world's growth, in your country's growth, and who we are as a nation, as a world. Participate, protect your freedom, vote, and get involved. And one of the things I think we've lost in this country is the ability to talk, so talk, because it's that sort of stuff that's freeing you. I often say, that life is like a video game. You know, you wake up in the morning and you put your hat on, you know, you discover what character you're going to be, and then you go through your life moment to moment, and the challenges that happen and the things that happen, and you respond as that character. You pick up your gold coins, you do your whatever it is, the keys that you find, and then you respond and you grow and you develop, and pretty soon you eventually, after a few levels of your life, you know, you discover that you are the hero of your game, that you're the hero of your life. And so be a happy hero. I'm the luckiest guy in the world because I get to be the happy hero. And the character that I seek to be in life is the character that I unfold every day, which is that Mario, that voice of happiness. Yeah, it's a me, Mario. The joy, the happiness, the love, the unbridled enthusiasm, you know, the innocence. Though he's an adult, he's an innocent, because I also believe you can choose innocence. We know we all share these common things. We've all met cynical people, you know, and as you get older, it's easier to be cynical because you think, oh, well, this always happens, or that always happens. But you can also choose innocence. You can also choose joy and choose happiness and choose to be optimistic, you know, that you know, because we all have those negative thoughts that are in our minds too, that what's wrong with me that I this, and what's wrong with that, and what's wrong with him, what's wrong with that, you know, because you read it in the papers, you read about all how terrible things are. People are wonderful. We're all wonderful. We all have capacities of being wonderful and terrible. So we get the opportunity to choose moment to moment who we want to be. And that's a wonderful gift, you know. And I feel particularly lucky because I get to work with people that I love working with. You know, I record with Nintendo people, and I get to be with people who love their jobs, and they love video games, and there's this beautiful shared passion for creation and creativity, and for the innocence and the joy and the purity of adventure that is created in Zelda games, in Kirby games, in Mario games, you know, in all the games. And so I get to participate in that, and I get to participate with these people. You know, to me, I'm so lucky too, because I get identified as like, oh, you're the voice, you're the man that does it, you know, and my thing is so small compared to what everybody else does. Because a video game starts as a dream, you know, a little wisp of a dream that develops over years, you know, with the work, the cooperative work of hundreds of people to create the idea, to expand the idea, then to create the physical pencil drawings, and then the coloring, and then the motion, and then starting, you know, how's it going to go, where's the adventure going to go, and then making it in 3 dimensions, you know. And I'm like that little dog that sits on the surfboard, you know. Somebody made the surfboard, the guy's controlling it, I'm like, yippee, oh, look, a starfish, ruff, ruff, you know, this is fun, I get to ride it into shore, you know, because I'm just part of that. I get to be the puppy, you know, and it's like, yippee, I'm so lucky, you know. And then I get to come and meet wonderful people like you and go, wahoo! And I'll tell you, I never knew I wanted to be an actor. I never knew I didn't know who Mario was. I didn't know who Nintendo was. I didn't know anything about what I wanted to be. But I knew I wanted to be happy. That was the one thing I knew. My dad did not like his job at a certain point. He was unhappy, you know? And I was like, I would see that every day, and the results of that every day, I'm like, okay, that's not, I don't want to do that, you know? I want to be happy. And I didn't know what it was. I thought I was going to be a political scientist and go into diplomacy and work in an embassy in London or Paris, you know? And I was shooting straight for that destiny at UC Berkeley. And then I couldn't get my classes in political theory from the professor I wanted to write my thesis for, and the only person I wanted to study for, because he was the only professor that ever asked me what I thought. You know, it's like, what is the nature of man according to Hobbes, Locke, Rousseau, Voltaire, blah, 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 blah. And define that, question 1A. Question 1B, what do you think is the nature of man?
Me.
Yes! Yippee! Yes. And that was the first time I had ever been asked to think. And I thought, okay, not just regurgitate, but think. And I thought, oh my goodness, it's so great. And I wanted only to be with this professor. And I went back for my final credit things, and I couldn't get a single class with him because it was so full. Everything was full. And I was crestfallen, and like a brat that I am, I said, well, if I can't have what I want, I'm leaving. And I walked out Souther Gates, and a friend of mine said, well, if you're not doing anything, why don't you come and take an acting class for me at a junior college? And I said, oh, Les, there is no way I could ever stand in front of people and talk. There is no way I could ever, I was chronically shy growing up. I was the one that was high, room full of 3 people, I could disappear, you'd never know I was there. And I said, there's no way, there's just no way. And he said, well, there's a student chef program, and we can go to the student chef thing every day and have lunch before class. Lunch? I might be able to do that, but I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do anything. No, you're not just throwing up participation. Learn the monologues, do stuff like that. Come, we'll have lunch, then you go there, and we'll have a nice time. I'm like, okay, I could do that. You got me. So I go in there, I'm like, I say, steady. I'm like, yeah, this is fun. Oh, eating, this is fun, And of course you learn your monologue, and I'm like, okay, my monologue. And of course they're always super dramatic things, my name is Joe, I died a terrible death in a fire in the warehouse, And I'm thinking, okay, I'll just go ahead and I learn that, and people are getting up and doing their monologues, and I start thinking, uh-oh. What if this is a trap and I have to go up there? And I start sweating. And I'm like hiding behind the chair in the back of the room. And they go through everybody, and then everybody's gone but me. And I hear Les go, Charles, you're up. And of course, I got like, oh! I was so scared. And I walked up like, and I get up there, and I'm like, and my right foot, I can only do it like, musicians do that thing. It's shaking like this, and I'm like, and I start, and I'm like, I put my weight on that one, because it's like, and then that one started going like this. And so I put, okay, spread your legs out evenly, and go like this, and they're both going like this. And I'm like, my name is Joe, I died a terrible death in a fire in the warehouse in the night, and that. And I'm convinced that what you're hearing is, I don't know what I'm saying. My body's on fire. I think my subtext is, I'm gonna die. I am going to die before the job. I'm gonna die. And I kept going, and I go, I don't know what I said. I don't know what I was doing. All I knew is that I was sure I was gonna die. And I finished the monologue. And I'm like, hey. And people are like, yay. Okay, time to criticize, Charles. What did you think? Well, I'm curious because, what did you do? Because you're the only person who wasn't nervous. And I'm like, and it was one of those moments where you went, bing, that's acting. And I don't know why, but that started me like, oh, well, I'll keep doing this, And I started getting a little bit less nervous, still terrified, still convinced that, that the nuclear bomb was going to go off, But then the school play was A Midsummer Night's Dream, And I grew up with a voice that's basically like this. If I do nothing to my voice, this is the sound. And so I love that, because there lies Titania sometime of the night. I thought, oh, I love that. And then Oberon, great part, the king of the fairies. I think, I'm going to study that. So I learned my monologue. I went in there, and in college, you watch everybody else audition. And I went in there, and it's a theater about this size, and there lies Titania sometime. And I did my monologue, and I thought, I got it. I watched everybody else, and I was the best. And I called Les up, I said, Les, I was really good. I think I got it. He goes, well, Charles, don't count your chickens before they hatch. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I was really good. I watched everybody. I was really, really good. And the next day the casting list goes up, and I'm like, I'm going to play Oberon, da-da-da-da-da. I'm going to play Oberon, Charles Martinet, where's Charles Martinet? Oberon, there's Oberon. Nothing. Bupkis. I didn't get to hold the sheep on the edge of the, walking across the set. I got nothing. And I'm like, I was so crestfallen at that level of failure. It was the most I had ever failed at anything in my life. And that was why I became an actor. Because that lit the fire inside of me that said, oh, yes, I can. And I learned monologues. I studied Stanislavski. I read. I emoted. I did everything I could. And then Berkeley Repertory Theater, professional theater, came out to our school and auditioned right after Midsummer Night's Dream closed. And I went in there because I knew I could do this. And I went in there with the monologue from Oberon against the people that had just played in the play as Oberon and all the guys that got the big parts. And I got it. And that was the beginning of my acting career. I was still terrified, but I went in there, because all of a sudden now it's like, okay, now you're playing with pros, let's see what you got. You know? And I was still terrified, but people would walk up afterwards and say, wow, you've got such great energy on stage. You really got it, whatever it is, And then you keep doing it, and you keep going and going. All of a sudden you realize, oh my gosh, I'm an actor, And I study acting, and I'm doing acting, and I'm doing professional theater. I go to school in London to study to be a better actor, and then I come back, I do more theater, and then I'm like, I don't like this anymore. And then a friend of mine calls me up and says, hey, why don't you come and do an audition for a corporate video? I said, what's a corporate video? It's a video that's corporate. What do I do? Audition. What do I do if I get it? Act. Oh, okay. So I go and I audition for a corporate video, and I start doing those. Suddenly I've done 500 of those in my little career. And then I'm, of course, as an actor, you're doing everything you possibly can. And I'm going, and I go, I do a commercial for TV for Orchard Supply Hardware, where the American Gothic painting where the guy's standing there in front of the barn with his wife with a pitchfork, and he's like, oh. I did some good acting there. See? And I did that, and we lit it, they shot it, it was a 15-second commercial. He goes, that's great. The producer said, do you do voiceover? I said, of course. What's a voiceover? It's a voice you put over the track. Oh, yes, I do. And he gives me the script. Orchard Supply Hardware, the right item at the right price, right now. He goes, here's more money. I said, I'm a voice actor. Yippee! So I always say, make conscious decisions, but I have been absolutely just so lucky. I, bump into one thing like one of those little automatic vacuum cleaners, and then boop, bonk, bonk, beep, bonk, bonk, and I just keep going forward, and into